We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense, and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Thanks, everyone. How are you? It's Professor Jamila, today with my wonderful guest and friend, Victoria Peoples. We're going to have a wonderful time today. But for those of you who are not familiar with me, I am Professor Jamila Franklin. I am the host for the Gray Lives on the Rise podcast, and I am the founder and CEO of Gray Lives on the Rise, of Oyende Enterprises, and Jamila Sense. As a matter of fact, Jamila Sense is underwriting this wonderful podcast. So, Jamila Sense, can't see all of it, but you can go to my website to get a better view. It's my aromatherapy company that is 100% natural, no fillers, no additives, and we have wonderful products like Peace Be Still and some other products. Peace Be Still is the #1 product in terms of eliminating stress, depression, PTSD, minor headaches, migraine headaches, sinus congestion, sinus problems, anything that's a stressor. It is amazing. Okay. I mean, I always have an issue trying to get this thing centered, but it's okay. You should go onto my website so you can see it better. Anyway, I'm unscrewing the top. You see how this is? You don't see any food dyes or colorings or additives, none of that. So you just put 3 drops in your hand, like so. And then you rub your hands together. Everyone can use it except a pregnant woman. It will help the baby come early. It's what you call an emmenagogue. So if you're pregnant and you would like to deliver early, peace be still, okay? So you put in your hands, and then you inhale. Oh my gosh, so good. The stress just goes away, and then you put it on your arms for flies and mosquitoes, so it gets rid of any stressor, panic attacks, migraine headaches, PTSD, like I said, menstrual problems, PMS, and a host of other issues. So go to my website, and it's all natural. I created it. Everything on my website, I created. So go to my website, Oyende Enterprises, OYINDE Enterprises.com, ENTERPRISES.com. And you will find Jamila Sense, and you'll find a whole host of other products and courses. I'm a holistic life coach. I'm a college professor of psychology. I'm a certified aromatherapist, a certified Reiki master, a certified metaphysician, a award-winning published author, a holistic life coach that specializes in healing ancestral trauma, and I teach meditation. I have a lot of things that I do, but today the focus is on my good friend, Victoria Peoples, who's also an extremely talented person who teaches meditation. So let me just give you her background. She was born in Toledo, Ohio, and she always knew that God had something special for her to do, even even when she was a child, she had the natural gift of singing and making people laugh. Even though she wasn't intentionally trying to make them laugh, they did. So what she did is she left Ohio. She moved. She's also lived in different places. She's lived in Detroit, Michigan, but she left Ohio, and then she received her bachelor's degree in performing arts and human resources. And then she moved to Detroit. So after she moved to Detroit, she really focused a lot on her singing career, and she was very well received in Detroit. And so she thought, oh, okay, let me go off to LA, see what LA has. She found out soon that LA was saying, hey, you are a small fish in a big pond. We got a lot of people who can sing well. In Detroit, she was a big fish in a small pond. So when she moved to LA, that kind of burst her bubble a little. And so what she did is because there are a lot of other Black females who are talented, probably not as talented as she, but she wasn't able to shine as much as she was able to shine in Detroit. So her relationship with God started to flourish. She always had a relationship with God, but it became really, really more enhanced when she moved to LA because she decided that she was going to remove herself from the limelight and focus on her spirituality. And in doing so, she began to study the principles of science of mind. This is not Scientology. It's different, okay? People like science. No, it's not Scientology. This is a teaching of combining religion, science, and philosophy. And since we're all connected by spirit and we all are reflections of each other, she started studying more of that. And we're all one. And we're just all individualized expressions of the creative one. So she's experienced this truth by taking classes in the principles of the science of mind, and she started embodying the practice of meditation. And so she started taking that very seriously. And after 3 years of training in this teaching, she became and still is a licensed practitioner within a spiritual organization called the Centers of Spiritual Living. For those of you who are familiar with Louise Hay was part of this group too. So her next stop after having stayed in LA for 20 years is that she came to Atlanta. She came to Atlanta because her family had also moved here from Detroit. So, she's from the Midwest too, from Ohio and from Detroit. So she came here because they were here. And she was blessed with the opportunity to teach meditation to the inmates at DeKalb County Jail for 2 years until the spread of COVID shut down the program. That's why I met Victoria. We both were instructors in this program for inmates, and it was just amazing. In 2022, God put it in her heart to seriously resume her stand-up comedy career, because she was doing comedy when she was also out in LA. So she was pursuing singing as well as comedy when she was in LA. She had a big part in the movie I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. So she knows some people, okay? She was over 65 at the time, and she listened to that small, still voice and has been performing stand-up comedy at comedy clubs and various venues throughout Georgia. And you're gonna get a snippet of her excellent comedy routine here. We're gonna play a little bit of it. Most recently, she auditioned for America's Got Talent as a stand-up comedian. In April of this year, after submitting a proposal, Victoria was chosen to be a vendor with the Fulton County Department of Senior Services Adult Day Health Program in Atlanta, Georgia, where she shares her comedy and other entertainment talents with the seniors via Zoom and in person at all 4 locations. Her goal is to eventually provide these same services to multiple counties throughout Georgia and throughout the country. I mean, Georgia's just a pit stop, so she's testing her wings here, and then she's going to fly off to other parts of the country. And of course, continuing her stand-up comedy career. So her takeaway today for you is never, ever give up. And as long as she lives, she's claiming the best is yet to come. She's living her best life. That's the name of this podcast. Living her best life. Living her best life. So now, having given her that introduction, my dear friend Victoria.
Hey, thank you so
And
much.
also, too, she and her family have this wonderful book that's coming out later on this year. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, how they were able to find their sister who had been missing for 60 years, and they found her. And that's an amazing story that has been captured in the book. Finding Peoples, Peoples is their last name. So, Victoria, welcome. We are so happy to have you here on our podcast. When I met Victoria at the county jail, we were not in the jail. We were teaching. Be very clear, people. Okay, we were not in the jail. We were just teaching. Okay, okay. So she used to say things, and I just used to say, "This woman is just hilarious." And then I found out that she was a professional comedian, because when she would talk, I would just laugh every time she would say things. And then I said, "You're a comedian?" She said, "Yeah." Then she told me she was a licensed practitioner in the Centers for Spiritual Living, which is in traditional Christianity, it's like a minister. I was like, wow. So she's done so many different wonderful things. Thank you again for coming. So when you were a child, you said people just naturally laugh, and you said you were not trying to be funny. So can you recall any of those instances where they would just naturally laugh?
Yeah, actually I can. They were naturally laughing at me, and I did not want them to. I wanted to be taken seriously. Because when I was 9 years old, that's when I discovered I could sing. So I wanted to be thought of as a singer, you know. So I would go to school, let's say the first day of class, and I would say to myself, you're going to be serious. They're going to take you serious. You're not going to make anybody laugh. Whatever you do, you will be taken seriously. Not even a half an hour would pass by before I'd have them cracking up, and I'd be so mad at myself. Because at the time, I didn't realize that it was a gift. Because at my age at that time, you know, there were no Black female comedians except for Moms Mabley, and I couldn't really identify with her. So I said,
Right.
my God, am I going to grow up to be a clown? I didn't want to be a clown. I didn't want to be like Bozo. So I tried not to be funny. And finally, I think it was like around junior high, I did it. I got to the point where I was not funny at all, unless I wanted to be, which I was trying not to be. People were taking me seriously as a singer, and that was wonderful. So I started getting in contests and had a little singing group called Vicky and Starlights, and we were, you know, doing things around the city. And then the two of the Starlights, there was only three of us. Two of the Starlights got pregnant when they were 15.
Oh, wow.
Me by myself. So I went on as a solo vocalist in Ohio, and went to college and still was singing and whatnot. But still staying away from comedy totally. So then I left Toledo after I graduated, as you said. I moved to Detroit, and there I was offered 3 recording contracts. I did, you know, cabarets, did all sorts of stuff, and I was just really doing the darn thing. Well, as it turns out, I got what's called the big head. Okay, I felt, oh, if they want me here in Detroit, they're gonna love me in LA. So I told the folks, I don't want your contract. I don't want your contract. I don't want your contract. I'm going to Los Angeles and become a star. I'll be a star in everything, singing, movies, you name it. So I go to LA, and I have my little tape, my little cassette tape that I'd shown the people in Detroit, and they loved it. They loved it. That's how come they were offering me contracts. So I had the same little old tape, and I took it to Los Angeles, and I played it for these recording execs, and they looked at me and they said, it sounds like you made this tape in the basement. I said, well, we did make it in the basement. I said, but they loved it in Detroit. I said, you are not in Detroit anymore. You are in Los Angeles. You're going to come spend some money, maybe about $5,000, and come back here with something that we can utilize. You know, Black female singers are like a penny a dozen here, and they're great. They come from all over the world. You're going to have to do better than this.
Well, that was a shot to your ego. It was like,
needless to say, the big head really deflated. It
put a
deflated
pin
all
in
the
it,
way
right?
down. Exactly. Exactly. So from that point on, I decided, well, what else can you do? What? No. Well, I am kind of leaving out a little part. I did finally get a recording company to pay attention to me in Los Angeles.
Mm.
But there was this little rinky-dink thing, right? And I was desperate. I did not want to go back to Detroit. I did not want to. But anyway, they told me, they said, we like you, but it's between you and another artist. And I know you've heard about the casting couch and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that is so real. I won't say the exact words, but I guess I could, but I won't. The bottom line is the other female vocalist was willing to do anything they wanted them to do. Anything they wanted to do to her, she was willing to do. And they wanted to know, was I willing to do anything? And I said, absolutely not. No. And they said, well, you've helped us make our decisions. You know, I some of these stuff. So then I went back with my tail between my legs. I called up the Detroit, Michigan execs that wanted to bring me on board. And I said, you know, I've given it some thought. And I think I will sign your contract. One after the other, all three of them said, we got somebody else. We got somebody else. We got somebody else. I said, oh, shoot. Now what am I going to do? So that's when I thought about it. I said, you know, people always laugh at things I say, you know, whether I wanted them to or not in the past. And I still got that sense of humor. I said, Black female comedians are not a penny a dozen. Maybe I can do that. So I put together 5 minutes of material, comedy material, and they had open mics back then as well. And in fact, Robin Harris, I don't know if you remember him or not.
With Bebe Kids.
Bebe
the one who
Kids.
did Bebe's, Bebe's Kids.
Yeah, this is even before Bebe's Kids. He was the host of this open mic called Chicken George was the name of the place. So I went there to the open mic with my little 5 minutes. And since he didn't know me, he put me way in the back. So I got up around quarter to, I guess it was like 1:45 in the morning. He called me up. He said, I don't know. Oh, before he called me up, this is what he said to me. He said, you see, he said, there's 2 drunk men sitting out there in the audience. I said, that's all that's in the audience. He said, well, I tell you what, if you can make one of them just raise their head or a finger or something to acknowledge that they even heard you, I will bring you back and give you a better spot next week. I said, okay. So I went up there, did my little 5 minutes, and thank God one of them, I don't know if he was belching or what, but he did lift up his head. And that was enough for Robin to bring me back to do more stand-up. And I started doing stand-up all around there. And then in a matter of 6 months, because Black female comedians were so rare, I ended up getting me an agent. And so I went around and I did comedy for a while, but I didn't take it seriously enough. I was having way too much fun. I was a wild and crazy girl. I was hanging off the rafters. And so that's when I decided to, maybe I needed to step back away from that for a while and get back my relationship with God, because I had lost my mind out there. So I went back to LA and I got it together, just as you said. I went ahead and started studying. I read a book by Joseph Murphy called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I said, well, if I could find any kind of group or organization that thinks like Joseph Murphy, I would join them. Sure enough, after that, I went to a church called Church of Religious Science in Los Angeles. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you're probably familiar with Michael Beckwith, but that's he originally started his studies there, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So, and then from that, as you said, I moved on to moved to Atlanta from Los Angeles, and can still, pretty much just working on my spirituality, where I had studied a lot of meditation and this, that, and the other. So that's how come when the opportunity came up for me to teach at the DeKalb County Jail, to teach the inmate a meditation, I jumped on that. I mean, I thought that was a great
Yeah.
experience, and I always had thoughts of maybe teaching meditation to prisoners. So I said, this is
Mhm.
this is great. Let me try this. And it was a wonderful experience during the time I was there. I must say it was a little scary though at first, because
I know. I was there.
I know
I
you
was
know, like
there.
you say, that's where we met.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first time I went in, I wasn't even expected to start, but I think it was it Professor Amante, what was her name? Amani?
Oh, Imani, my
Mhm,
aunt.
mhm. I had met her, and she had told me they didn't have anything right then, but when they did, she let me know. And I had just gotten to the parking lot and leaving her, and she called me on my phone. She said, "You know something? There's a class tomorrow that the person won't be able to show up at." She said, "Could you think you could take that class?" I said, "Well, can I teach meditation?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay."
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
did, and I walked in there with those men in those orange jumpsuits looking really crazy, and I just took some deep breaths and prayed.
I know, I know, I
And
know.
they enjoyed it. They embodied it.
Yeah, they did.
They really, really did. It was I saw a change in them as time went on, because some of them stayed for longer periods than others, you know.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, before I left, they, I don't, I'm sure even with your class, they had to write up different things about, evaluations or whatnot of how they felt about your class. And I have a few that I'm going to read to you right now, what they actually said about my class.
oh, okay.
Let's see. When I got up this morning, I didn't even want to live. I was so depressed. A fellow
Mm.
inmate of mine told me about a meditation class he'd come to last Friday and how good he felt afterwards. So I wanted to feel better too, so I went. Miss Peoples was so warm and personable. The meditation took me away from this jail into a space of peace, a peace I hadn't felt for months. And it was
Mm.
mainly just concentrating on our breath, inhaling and exhaling. I
Mm.
haven't felt this relaxed since I got here. Thank you, Miss Peoples. I will keep on breathing.
Wow.
Mhm. And this is one from another guy, one of the inmates. He said, "I got a lot out of the meditation class. It has helped me to stop stressing and grieving over things I can't control. Since
Mm-hmm.
this class, I have found peace in myself, God, and in spirit, to
Mm-hmm.
where I don't even realize I'm not even going through much.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is mediocre. I appreciate this class. It has changed my life for the better." And
Those
this
are
last one
very
is
good
from
people in the program.
I'm sorry,
The men there, I felt were very good for the most part.
they were. And
Yeah.
this one's from a female, because I also taught the female meditations as well.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "I went into the meditation class really missing my children and my family. Miss
Mm.
Peoples took me through a meditation where I was playing with my kids. I got so into it, I could smell them, hear them laugh. I was laughing too. That
Mm.
meditation helped me to come out of feeling hopeless because I missed them so much, to feeling hopeful, knowing that I would see them again. Meanwhile, if
Wow.
I close my eyes and breathe life into the memory, I can feel them right now. Thank you, Miss P."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. The meditations were very, very powerful. Because the people, when I taught the law of attraction there, showing them how they were attracting certain types of people and incidents into their lives, they always spoke very, very highly of you in the meditation. Spoke
Mhm.
very highly. So you did that. You taught in the school, I mean, at the school at the county jail. You were
Mhm.
in comedy. You did
Yeah, I
some
went.
singing. So
Mhm.
now, what about the Centers for Spiritual Living? When you came here, you became involved with them.
Yes, I did become involved with them, and I'm still involved with them. I would never even have gotten back into stand-up comedy had I not been involved with them and had not had spirit. Like what actually happened is in the year 2022, spirit put it
Mm-hmm.
back on my heart to get into comedy and to take it seriously. I said, "Are you
Mm-hmm.
serious?" Because I'm over 65 years old at this point. You know what I'm saying? When I was
Yeah.
doing comedy in
It don't
LA,
look a it don't look a day close to it. Yeah.
Say what?
I said, you don't look a day close to 65.
No,
You don't
please.
look anywhere near 65.
Well, I'm over that. I'm past that. I'll never see it
Yeah.
again. But anyway, anyway, so I took a comedy class at a place here in Atlanta called the Laughing Skull, just to get my feet wet again and get the comedic juices going again. And
Mhm.
that was about 6 weeks. Then after that, I just started doing open mics, and I try to get out at least 3 times a week doing something, working on new material and whatnot, because when God put it on my heart like that, I said, well, God, if you put it on my heart this strong, it's something I'm supposed to do. Now, I really thought I was supposed to be in Florida, laying on the beach, being a beach bum. I could do that. I could do that. But God said, not
Mhm.
yet. Not yet. You're not going to be a beach bum. You're going to be a stand-up comic. Okay. I said, okay, fine. So that's been going very well. It's had its challenges because most of the comedians are a lot younger than I am. But
Mhm.
one thing I found out is that as long as I'm funny, as long as I'm doing my thing, I have their respect. They don't care how old I am. And
Right.
that's been really wonderful. And as you said, just recently I did audition for America's Got Talent, though I won't know anything about the outcome of it until sometime next year in the spring. And
I was when I saw that when I read that, I was like, she never told me that. That's kudos, kudos, kudos.
thank you. And I've
Yeah,
been
you
getting
know
noticed
something.
in other venues. There's another one called Don't Tell Comedy, and
Mhm.
they contacted me, and I will be performing on one of their shows in Kirkland, a part of Atlanta, during October. And
Wonderful.
for those of you who won't be able to see me, I do have a little short clip that I would like to share with you.
Okay.
And so Jamila is going to make me the host.
Yes, ma'am. And I went to the show that she did live. It was really fun. It was great.
Okay.
So it's Victoria setting this up. It's really important for each of us to know that you're never, never, never too seasoned, too mature, too golden to pursue your dream. And you don't need anyone's permission. You just need to believe in yourself, and know that your passion has a fan club. If it's only you, you're in that fan club. And this is one of the shows I attended for Victoria.
And here we go.
Man.
Uh-oh, don't know what happened.
Ready, clapping. Keep it going for Victoria Peoples.
Hey, I'm coming out. I want the world to know I'm just an old homo. Yeah, that's a song I would have kept on singing. I would have been singing them, you say, had I stayed in that jail one day longer. I mean, those women started looking pretty good to me. They really, really did. I said, you know something? How did they? Well, actually, before I even go there, I got to ask you something. When you go to jail, what's the first question people ask you? Ooh, my Lord. All these jailbirds. My fellow inmates. That's right. What you in here for? Now I'm going to tell you what happened. Minding my own business on Venice Beach, jaywalking. I know. Next thing I know, a policeman comes up, rolls up on me, right, on a bicycle, hands me a ticket. I didn't take it seriously. I tore it up in the ocean. Moving violation turned into a warrant. Next thing you know, I'm at the LA County Jail in an orange jumpsuit with some of the craziest, meanest looking women I've ever seen in my life. And one of them had nerve enough to run up to me. What you in here for? Well, you know I didn't want to tell him. So I hurried up and got away from her. Because these women were in there for a lot of things. They were in there for murder, bank robbery, pedophile, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, you name it, they did it. They did it. But I thought about it, I said, You know, it's not like these women came out the womb criminals, right? Something must have happened. When did it happen? Childhood. Nursery rhymes. Have you ever listened to the lyrics of nursery rhymes? There was an old lady who lived in the shoe. Had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She fed them some broth without any bread. Then she whipped them all soundly and put them to bed. That woman beat those kids. Yeah, we do need Roe versus Wade. And then what about the lullaby? Famous lullaby. Rock-a-bye baby in a treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And what happened? What happened? And down will come baby, cradle, drop the baby. Where's defect? When you need him, you know? And the big bad wolf, he wasn't nothing but a pedophile. He couldn't wait to eat Little Red Riding Hood. And remember this one? She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. This is an orgy, people. So now I find myself out here looking for a job. And I can tell you, age discrimination is real. And it doesn't help that I have a record. So I thought about it and said, what can I do? What can I do that I'm the perfect age for, I'm qualified for, it pays the kind of money I need, and the fact that I've been to jail won't even be an issue? President of the United States. Of America. Excuse me, wardrobe change. Now, was it this year or? No, the other one? You know, we're talking about Donald Trump. Both his ears have immunity. And after this second attempt on his life, his whole body has immunity. You know? So I'm thinking, he's still running for president. And I'm still looking for a job. But there's other things that's going on in my life too that I'm really concerned about. That's like dating. I mean, seriously, I thought at my age, that I would be married and divorced, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. Have 5 or 6 kids by 7 or 8 men. Something normal. But nah, I'm still single. So I decided to try online dating. Please. Yeah, That's how I met Mark. That man gave me the blues. I met me a man. He's the love of my life. Help me. And he promised that he'd marry me if it wasn't for his wife. His profile said he was single. He said he was single. He said he lost his wife in 2020. She found him. And then there was Hank. He said he wanted to get married on his profile. So, you know, I met him. I had barely sat down at the restaurant, and the man proposed to me. He said, Victoria, you know what I need me? I need a wife. I need someone to cook me hot meals every day. Someone to get up in the morning thinking of ways to make me happy. Go to bed at night dreaming of ways to make me happy. Someone that's on this earth to supply my every need, my every want, my every desire. I said, a wife does all that? I need a wife. Thank you. My name is Victoria.
it going for Victoria, everybody.
Very good. I saw this routine. It was really, really good, refreshing, and just nice. The thing I love about your comedy routines is that you can be funny, and you are, without all of that profanity. Young people are just, every other word is profane. And what happens with someone like me, we start to check out when you are always using curse words. So we don't even get the full extent of understanding what they're trying to say, because my brain shuts off. It says, oh, I don't want to hear that. But yours has always been clean. It has some undertones to it in terms of senior sexuality and whatever, but it's not in your face, popping you in the face. That's what I love about it.
Well, thank you so much. And
Yeah.
that's definitely intentional, because I don't curse on a regular basis anyway. If I did,
Right.
it would be in my comedy. People do tend to display, you know, how they speak in their comedy routine. But as I said, I'm still a religious science practitioner, and I always take that into effect. You know, I won't do anything that I think would be offensive to anybody from my organization. So
Yeah.
that's been working out very well for me, and I just thank God every day for putting that in my life. One thing I do want to let you know too, because I remember in the beginning you mentioned that I was in the movie. How what was it?
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
No, I was in Hollywood Shuffle.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hollywood.
That's okay.
They were around the same time.
They were. Robert Pattinson and Keenan Wayans. They definitely hung out together.
Yeah.
Also,
Both were great movies.
yeah, as you mentioned, I am also involved with the seniors at the Fulton County Adult Day Health Program. And how I got that was I wanted to do stand-up comedy for seniors. And in Clayton County, about I think it was right after I really just started doing comedy here, I called up Clayton County one of their centers, and woman spoke with the woman, and they were having a Valentine's Day party, I believe. Excuse me. So I went ahead and I performed there, and they really liked it. Went very well. So I said, you know, maybe I could do that with other centers as well. So that's what I did. I went into Google, got a whole list of all these centers, and there's a bunch of them.
Oh.
Yeah. I called them. I left messages, I left voicemails and texts, all this stuff. Nobody responded back except for this one woman. Eventually, her name is Erica Flack. She's the program manager for the adult day program in Fulton County. And said, I know you were calling about doing stand-up. She said, well, what we need for the day program is someone to provide humor and music. And she went on so forth and so on. She said, does that sound like something you'd be interested in? I said, yeah. And so she said, well, she said, put together a proposal and send it to me, and we'll see how that works out. I'd never done a proposal in my life or anything, but I said, sure, I can do it. And I started, put it together. And I sent it to her, and she liked it, and the committee liked it. And she called me up and said, wanted to know how soon I could get started and become a vendor and get on their list and whatnot. And that was April of this year. So I've been doing it every Friday ever since, with 4 different centers at the same time, simultaneously on Zoom with the Fulton County Day Health Program. And it's been going wonderful. And I always incorporate my spirituality in everything I do. So the very first thing that we do is we'll either have meditation, or I have this song by a woman by the name of Karen Drucker called Gratitude. It's become like it was our theme song for the month of September. And we sung it. We sung it. They love it. It had little movements to it. They like the movements. And the seniors in the day program, a lot of them have memory challenges and whatnot. So when I put together the curriculum for them, I keep that in mind. Say word games, like I'll say, give me a word that starts with N and E. I mean, that doesn't start with N and E, but has N and E in it. And they'll give it to me, you know, they'll think and they'll give it, and they'll throw things out, and they're very competitive. So I've made it a contest now. They get
Yeah,
points for each one they get right and all of that.
yeah,
They're very, very competitive. And
yeah.
we do karaoke, and I go back to songs that, you know, from the 60s and the 70s, and they like that because they know those songs. And then occasionally I throw in something they don't know, so they'll have to remember it, and that helps with their memory as well.
Mhm.
Then one day we were having one of our sessions, and I was telling them how I made up a story about soap operas, you know, using the titles of soap operas to make for the story, and they wanted to hear it. So this is the story. Ryan and I were so young when we were married, so young and restless. We thought that love's guiding light would see us through life's secret storms and dark shadows, and we could search for tomorrow together. You see, it was Ryan's hope to become one of the doctors. He was going to practice at the General Hospital in Texas, the hospital where I gave birth to all my children. So they liked that so much that I told him, I said, well, if you give me names of flowers or animals or whatever, we did all kinds. I said, then I will make up a story for you.
Yeah.
So one of those instances, they gave me the names of flowers, and I'm going to share that story with you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Now, the flowers that they gave me was iris, lily, daisy, carnation, sunflower, rose, dandelion, tulips, violet, pitaya, hydrangea, hopefully, and chrysanthemum. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's the story. Daisy and Lily were fast becoming best buds. They met at the Botanical Gardens in Atlanta. Sometimes Daisy would get depressed and her blood pressure would rise because of everything going on in the world. And Lily would come along and bring calm and joy to any situation. One day they decided to meet for lunch at the Sunflower Cafe on Peachtree Road where their friend Dandelion worked. Daisy was feeling a bit dehydrated, so Lily gave her some tulip-flavored water. Tulip-flavored water promotes hydration. Lily also gave Daisy a rose when they got to the cafe because she knew a rose releases a good feel hormone. It was then when Lily looked into Daisy's eyes, she noticed for the first time that one of Daisy's irises was blue and the other was brown. Wow. Anyway, back to the dandelion. Dandelion was the chef at the cafe, and her greens were the best. Dandelion's greens also lowered Daisy's blood pressure. Dandelion shared that drinking 1/2 cup of carnation milk and a cup of bananas would help depression and blood pressure as well. And she had heard, what had she heard? That it would also minimize the appearance of wrinkles. Lily gave Daisy another flower, a violet. She knew that Daisy would love it, would love its fragrance of fresh washed linen and baby powder. Lily shared with Daisy that she was having urinary and kidney challenges. Daisy told her about the elements in the hydrangea flower that flushed out mineral deposits that can accumulate in the kidney and urinary tract. Dandelion heard them talking. She had been experiencing chest pains and was looking for alternatives, an alternative treatment. Daisy recommended chrysanthemum flower tea. As we become more seasoned, we all have our health challenges. We must follow the lead of the pitaya flower, survive and thrive, regardless of our situation and circumstance.
But I think it's very ingenious. I think it's very creative. I think it shows that we are still vibrant, even though we're in the 50+ generation, as you have experienced with the seniors on your weekly Friday Zoom call, performing, doing stand-up comedic routines. I think that's really wonderful because they can relate to the stories. Like everything you said was the name of a soap opera, The Guiding Light, Search for Tomorrow, and all of that. Those were very good examples to present today. And also people would take that and just expound upon it. I think that's really creative. You're stimulating brain cells that they probably thought were dormant.
Yeah,
So,
and plus they're learning at the same time because each of those flowers, you know, what they did as far as lower blood pressure and all this kind of thing. So they're learning how naturally you can take care of a lot of the ailments that as we get seasoned, that we have. You know, it comes straight from the plants, from the flowers.
everything, all the chemical pharmaceuticals that they are giving people came from a plant source. They're mimicking nature, so they think. So in the less than 5 minutes that we have, beloved Victoria, what nuggets would you like to leave with our listening audience?
Well, mainly it's like you said, you know, right now I'm living my best life. And no matter how old you are, you can live your best life. You can be, we have so much creativity in us that just
Yeah,
it's bubbling up in us and it wants to come out, but we have to allow it to come out. We can't be afraid. We can't limit ourselves thinking, oh, I'm too old for this or I'm too old for that. I mean, look at Colonel Sanders. He was in his 60s when he developed the Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
James Parkinson was over 60 when he identified Parkinson's disease.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, look at us. I mean, we're getting ready to write this book. In fact, we wrote the book, my sisters and myself, and we're 60s in our 60s and 70s. And so next year I'm going to be a published author for the first time in my life, Finding Peoples. Yay, you know. So
Yeah.
I guess the bottom line, as long as you live and breathe, you can
Yeah.
you have a life to live. You have a life to live, and we have to just remember, in order to we have these great ideas, but in order to implement them, we have to be healthy, we have to
Yes.
exercise, we have to
Yes.
fight, because no matter how great your ideas are, if you're not healthy, you won't be able to implement any of them.
That is so true. And then staying in touch with people and being part of this wonderful Great Lives on the Rise community. Our community is just so noble and just so fantastic because it's global. It's not just here in Georgia where Victoria lives and where I live. We are expanding everywhere. We've had someone from Serbia, Eastern Europe, and we've had someone from Australia. We're going to have people from Hawaii, from all over the country. So with Great Lives, like Victoria has talked about, we welcome you. We welcome you to be a member and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Very important to subscribe to our YouTube channel because that pushes us up in terms of the algorithms, and it pushes us out to people whom we don't know, and it's working very well. So I thank you, Victoria. I thank you. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much.
I thank you for talking about the
See my cup?
Oh yeah, that's right. A great life
on the
on
rise.
the
Oh, and
rise.
I got to tell you something real quick about Peace Be Still.
Oh,
The
okay.
liquid. Yeah, it's a great deodorant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
I used the crystal stick that you did, and I put that on. Then I put a drop of Peace Be Still. Smell fresh. So fresh and so clean.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's a good plug. That's a good plug. Thank you.
It's the truth. If you could smell me, you'd smell Peace Be Still now.
You smell through the screen,
Yes,
people.
yes. I mean, really, it's wonderful.
That's right. We're vibrant and we're seasoned, we're mature, we're golden, and we smell like Peace Be Still.
Yes, yes. My underarms are very calm.
And the next time too, Victoria's going to put inside of the Great Lives on the Rise landing page where she's going to be performing. And that's the thing about our community too. Whatever you have that you would like the world to know about, connect with me to see if you would like to see if it's if we are connecting to become a guest speaker on our podcast, because we're looking for vibrant people who are seasoned and mature like Victoria. So when she has her engagements, her comedy engagements, we're going to definitely let you know so you can go out to support her if you're in Atlanta. And she may be coming to a city near you, wherever you are on the planet, because she's expansive. She's been to Alaska. She's going to Egypt soon. I mean, she travels all over. So she may come next next to your city. And if she does, go up to say, I saw you on Great Lives on the Rise podcast, and give her a hug and a shout out, and just let her know that you're in the audience, okay? So know that I love you, everyone. And Victoria, give them your contact information.
You can see me on Instagram. It's just look up Victoria Peoples. You see me there. And I also have a webpage, victoriapeoples.com. My email, I can put that in the chat, or I could tell it to you.
Yeah, you can tell it, and then we will put it in the chat.
Okay. It's peoples.v@gmail.com.
And Peoples is spelled Peoples, everyone. So when you need to get in touch with Victoria, just start writing those questions down. So, Victoria, when are you going to perform? And we need to get in touch with you. And we will surely make sure that that happens. Okay, beloveds?
Okay. And I'm also on Facebook. Okay.
Yes, she's on Facebook. So Victoria, Victoria, Peoples, Peoples. Make sure you get in touch with her. Know that I love you, everyone. Until next time, be safe, loving, compassionate, and caring, not only for others, but for the planet. Namaste. Until next time.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Scents, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Scents is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Gray Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.